Hi. Hello. How everybody? I think I'm live. I wanted to come live to show you what I have in my bag of goodies for swimming lessons that I did this week. If you have been following a little bit of a story, I did a bit of a post a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, with regards to starting. There was a parent that had a bad experience during swimming lessons, and they contacted me with regards to where they reached out if I could help them try and change it round, because the child didn't want to go to swimming lessons anymore, and they started to become fearful and using almost like excuses as to why they didn't want to get in the water. And they didn't want, obviously, that to hinder their progress or hinder their thought process with regards to swimming lessons. So, of course, I said yes. And I thought that give you a little bit of a snippet as to what I do in my swimming lessons. And I have I have an 18-month-old, and there is a girl that is turning 4 soon, and then another young boy as well, who is the one that had the bad experience. So I do have these private lessons. So because there is a range of ages, I do take an extra kit with me with regards to the toddler. And of course, well, not of course, but generally with the toddlers, you have materials that are different. And the reason for that is very quickly, because I can spend all day on here talking about it, is pretty much schemas and schematic play, but also because they are starting essentially their learn to swim journey. So they all need a little bit of extra time with what I call exploratory toys. So it gives them that starting point and that start in their journey to be very chilled, very, just very playful, in the sense that you can add lots of different activities, but you're going to be doing a lot of back and forth to what I call the safe zone area. And in the safe zone area, I put out what I call water confidence toys. And I'm going to go through some of those now as to what I use. And I highly recommend to get some, because not only do the toddlers absolutely love it, so do the preschoolers, and so do the older children as well. So if you've got them there, I bet you bottom dollar that a lot of the other swimmers will want to use those as well. For those that have been on my lives or been in any of my play labs or my workshops, you know I always got a cup of coffee by me or a cup of tea, depending on what time of the day it is. Right, I've got this microphone for it to hopefully for you to hear me a little bit more clearly. So sorry if it goes a bit louder once I lean down. Okay, so I'm going to do the water confidence toys first, and this is just a very small selection that I have. I have a garage full of toys. So if you again see my previous post with regards to how much, however, you don't need to have a massive array of toys, because I've just been doing this for so long now that over the years I've just got more and more kit that I've added to what I had when I first started. And these I did have when I first started right from the beginning, and you'll be able to tell because they're very old and very well used for sure. So with the youngsters, the toddlers, I always like to have things that is going to capture their attention, and it also means that they can explore, and they love exploring, they love movement, and they can pour. They're standing there. They could be different layers of the water. Now, the pool that I use now, and every pool is going to be different. Your pool is going to be different to my experience of different pools. I have been to a fair few pools. So if you're needing help and guidance with regards to how and where to place things, then please reach out, because I think I've probably sort of know many different options of how pools run, so I can give you some ideas. But anyway, so I have these out on the safe zone area, so the stairs, so they can stand confidently and they're stable, so that they can spend the time focusing on doing this. And I have cups, and they basically fill it, and you'll notice that they need a little bit of help. So you show them how to pour the water, and the water probably go everywhere apart from in here. But again, you can also have a cup as well, so you can help them too. So anything that is moving, the beak actually opens when the water pours, and it turns the wheels. Anything that is rotational, if the children is in a rotation schema, then they will absolutely love anything that will rotate. If they're in a pouring schema as well, they love to transfer. So transferring schemas, then they will love those sort of things as well. And you might find that they go pour from cup to cup as well. So having cups with no holes in them are really great. It's not one from where I'm going to be doing that conditioning of throwing the water in a cup. So these cups are used for the toys. If they're wanting to sprinkle it on themselves, and if they want to do it themselves, then you don't stop them. You just show them how to do it. Okay, a couple of other things I've got as well, I'm going to show you those in a minute, are also things like this, of where the water goes in and then the water sprinkles out like a shower. And these are great because it sounds a little bit louder, but also it creates a spray of water like a shower, so you can recreate almost like what they potentially have at home when they have shower time. And there's loads of different activities that you could use with these away from the stairs, as well as using this in the safe zone area. But I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, because there's something coming up that I'll be advertising in a couple of days that you'll be able to come on and I can give you more information. I've got one more thing in here as well. Well, actually two more things there's a few more things. But I've also got this, but slightly different again. Again, it sprays loads of water. So sometimes I use both at one time when I'm out, depending. I used to have two of these, but unfortunately one went walkies when I was working at a specific place. One of my ex-teachers decided to walk off with one. Anyway, and so I've got that. And also I've got in here is, for those that have been on this page for a while, you know that I've ditched the plastic and I love silicone. So again, I'll be going on and talking about this in a little bit. And I've tried to ditch as much plastic as possible. Because silicone is fantastic, it's easy to keep clean, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but this is basically a watering can, and I love all the colours that they come in, and the little boy that I'm teaching absolutely loves this. He puts his hand in the water. This is his favourite toy out of all of them, is the watering can. So I have one of those. Other things for water sprinkles, which I absolutely love, are these clouds. I've had so many of these over the time, and I've had loads of different sort of sprinkle toys, in the sense there's clouds, there's raindrops, and there's like a rainbow, and they come in a kit, but I think they're rubbish, to be honest, because they don't flow properly. These are great because you've got a stop-start button as well. And they can watch the bubbles fill up, and then they can sprinkle as well. And there's a light sprinkle, so it's not as much as these, but there is still really great sprinkling that happens with those. Right, so moving on. Oh, I've got one more thing in here that I have. There's loads of stacking. So again, if they are in a specific schema of where they like stacking and creating towers, then these are the type of things. But I also use these for other things, but again, I'm not going to go into too much detail, because I'm going to explain about these in the next couple of days coming at the end of the month. But so stacking toys there as well. Right. Next thing I just wanted to show you was the other thing that they really loved. If you're wanting to steer away from the plastic, which I still like these, they're still colourful, they're still nice, still like them, they've got holes, what have you. You can actually then do other stacking toys. Again, these are silicone, and they unstack and then it turns into a tower. So it's just something that's a little different, which is what I'm gravitating towards and moving towards, but they loved using those. So during the lesson, what I also used in here, is in my little bag, is that I took a series of different thicker, actually these are paint stamps. So I saw these and I love the foam, and basically they are different pictures. I was here in the UK. We've had such bad weather for so long that I'm really looking forward to springtime coming. So I really wanted to start bringing in a springtime theme. So from now, really, I'm going to be doing quite a lot of spring, garden, bugs, butterflies, birds, anything like that for springtime. The swim squad members, they have their starting this in March. They're going to be having their springtime themes, and in there's loads of activities for springtime. So they'll be getting that in March, as well as some other good stuff. But anyway, so like I said, these are paint stamps, and the toddler absolutely loved these. We were doing the animal sounds, so we were saying what it was. I was doing the signs for them, for the ones that I knew, and also going B for B, so starting with also helping with language development as well, but doing flower, and then there's 2 of them, so again doing a little bit of extra learning there, 2, 1, 2, and then looking at flowers. But what I was doing is I was throwing them in the water. I noticed that he was gravitating to want to use these, so I had them up on the side of the pool, but then I could see that he was interested in them, so I then threw them behind me so that we could go and swim and go and get them first, and then we would bring them back, and then we stuck them on the wall, and then we just played and sort of did different things. So like if there was the bird, then we would pretend to fly with the bird, and we went tweet, 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 and we did a little bit of flying, and then smelling the flowers, and then we pretended to be a bumblebee, and then we came to a ribbit, so we were doing some hops like for ribbits and things like that, and we basically created a little bit of a garden theme using those. And I also used that for the preschool lessons as well, because they went off and I actually put them around the pool space, and they went and created their garden scene using them. So other things that I have in here, I had some lily pads, because we were doing a frog and butterfly theme. So I've got some lily pads here, and I also have some frogs, and I've had these frogs, and they are the ones that you pinch down and they move. So I basically put these all around the edge of the pool. Now, because it's a private pool, it was easy enough for me to put them out. So obviously, based on your pool space that you have, you're going to have to think about where you might want to put these. You could put them in containers in places so they don't go don't go walkies or hop off with somebody else, or you could put them in like I said, in certain bowls around, contain them, and so that you have that certain area of where they're going to go and collect these. But I was able to dot all these around, and there's different colours, so we did a couple of different things of where I had all these colours. You could do a colour coordinating game, or I also then had some numbers in here. So I have a little pouch here. It's a water bag, toiletry bag, and you can use, I'll got other ideas of what you could use for these types of things coming up soon. But basically she could, I've got numbers in here from 1 to 5. I did have numbers in here for higher, but I took those out. And she basically would pick a number, so number 3, and then she would go and find 3 frogs. Now, if I had enough, I could have had 3 blue, so they could have colour coordinated the 3, which is what she was wanting to do. She wanted to colour coordinate what the number was with the frogs, and then she brought it back. So we put the number out on the lily pad, and then she would go and then find 3 frogs. Also, what she decided she wanted to do, going with colours, she made a little home for her frog. So yeah, she ended up then turning this upside down and putting the frogs in their little home. So that's what she did, which was so cool because, again, always learning from the children. It was a really great idea and so forth. So we've got, let me pick out a smaller number that I've got. So we've got a 2. Oh, that's a 5. Hang on a minute. I do have another number in here that's smaller. I've picked out all the large numbers. How funny is that? Okay, here we go. I've got a small one. A 1. So again, colour coordinating, green and green, and then she wanted to use the green for that as well. And I had a separate lily pad of where she'd come back to the lily pads. So that was that game that she really loved doing, and so did the other guy, which I just put those numbers away in the bag, but these are fantastic to get. Let's put that to the side. Then what we were doing was doing some breath control activities. So we were then decorating butterflies. So I've got these butterflies, craft foam, as you can see, still wet, out on the side. If you have a group lesson, you can still do all of this. If you have groups, if you have a small group, then this is really great to use all of this. So it doesn't just have to just be for private lessons. But then what I had was that I have these really great tools because they love blowing magic bubbles. So I had these located out and about because you always want to go to something and always come back to something so they know what they are doing. It's purposeful. And also it means that they are doing an activity and a skill set as they're doing it. So we could have them kicking back and forth, I don't know how many times, but you can always layer it and scaffold it and add skills as you're going along. So she'd already been, and we did a couple of frog bobs, and we did a little bit of blowing bubbles before she had the frog. She was crawling along to get to the next frog. There's loads of different things that you could add in rather than just going and collecting and bringing back. You could add in directional work, so many different things. So anyway, with these eggs, she had to hold it very, very tight. We don't want them to open them up because the idea is that if you're having children that are at the point of where you're struggling to get them to put their faces in the water or even blowing bubbles, these really help at the starting point. And even when they're not, you can hold them under the water and they could still blow magic bubbles to them. It's fine. But again, rather than just asking them to blow their bubbles, or you're just going to be putting your face down in the water now, this is something that they see magical. You could create a story about it, but again, it gives them something to focus on as opposed to them saying, no, I don't want to do it, and then they don't do it, and then it's really hard to try and entice them to do it if you don't have anything to use. So anyway, inside here is what they were going to be decorating here. So they would collect them, add their magic bubbles as they're going along. Then when you get to the safe zone or to the side, then they can blow again the bubbles and then open them up, and then inside are their decorations for their butterflies. So they're going to be adding onto their butterflies. You can add in symmetry, so you could have the same color in, and then you could talk about, again, a little bit of a learning opportunity of talking about symmetry, or then you could be talking about, if they're moths, not butterflies, about how they have eyes on their wings so they could deter their whoever wants to come and eat them. And things like that. So anyway, you can do that a good couple of times because you can keep adding to the different colours, and you've got different eggs in there. So I've got different colours in here. You can colour coordinate the eggs with what's colours that you've got in there. You could add certain amount of numbers that they go and collect. So different ways that you could add in with these eggs. But I have to, once they get into the eggs, I have to keep refilling the eggs because they absolutely love these. But I have some other strategies as well for you, that if you are struggling with getting a child to blow their bubbles. So stay with me within the next couple of days to find out how you're going to get that information. I always get leave some extra things in here just in case. I've also got these butterflies. Now she just decides to go on their back whenever she wants to go on her back, which is absolutely fine, because in private lessons you're able to adapt accordingly, and it's very flexible I do anyway. I'm very flexible in a private lesson because I basically go with the flow. Different when you've got a group lesson, because yes, you have to be more structured, and the children like having structure, otherwise it would be complete chaos. It would be. So you do need, however, you give choices. So they either have the blue egg or they have the green egg, but you're still doing a breath control activity, but you're still providing a choice for them. And you're giving them, if they don't want to put their faces down in the water, you're going to give them a choice. Are you going to do a whirlpool, or are you going to be putting your lips in the water, or are you blowing on top of the egg? That's how you keep it into a structured lesson, but you're still doing it very child-centered for them. So I've got these little butterflies as well, a little set here of different butterflies that I've created, and they were fluttering, and she decided that she was just going to go on her back. She didn't need anything like this, but you might find that some children need a little bit extra, so they can hold their butterflies on their backs, and they are going to flutter like butterflies as they're moving back on their backs. They can put them on their heads, their chest, they can hold it. If they're in the noodles, they can put it on their noodles. If they are sitting on noodles and you're doing a little bit of balance work, for instance, or core strength, you can put the butterflies on top of the noodles and pretend to fly around, which is great for these types of things. Also, what I've got on here, I found another little guy. Here's a little snail. How cute. And he was going very slow, whereas the bird or the bumblebee went really fast. So you would swim really slow, swim fast. Oh dear. Anywho, right. Also, what I've got in here are flowers, so different type of flowers. So again, I've just got extra things in here that I needed to use. So the butterfly would then swim. Butterfly would fly and swim and come and land on the butterfly. So it could be that I've got the butterflies on the side where they're starting, they're swimming on their backs, and then they've got the flowers out. So they fly to the flower and then they fly back to the other flower and so forth. So again, they've got purpose, they know where they're going, you know where they're going and what they're up to, which is a win-win situation. Okay, so we've done the butterflies. Other games that I had in here are some chasing games, just to say, can you get there faster than me type of event. She loves these types of things, and some children might not like to. My son personally doesn't like to chase games. So I wouldn't have obviously done it with him or with a child that doesn't like it, but some do. So you try and use little things like puppets and things like that, just to say, I'm going to nibble at your toes, or I'm going to get there before you, or I'm going to go and get that egg first. I want that red one. Which one are you going to go and get? And you can use different things there to try and entice them to go a little bit faster if they are reluctant about going. But that was my kit for this week. Like I said, it was a butterflies and frog type of theme with a little bit of spring sprinkled in there, as well as looking at the water confidence stations. I thought it might be a nice idea to do this weekly, so you can see what I've got in my bag of what I take now I'm back in the pool, which is very exciting. So as I'm up until the point of where I come out of the pool again, I would love to show you what I have in my bag. If you would like to see more things that I have in my bag each week, then please let me know in the comments that this is something you'd like to do by doing a thumbs up in the comments. That would be fantastic. And who knows what next week's theme will be, because I will surprise you. But anyway, something exciting is coming up soon, so keep your eye out for those posts. And if you are a Swim Squad member, then all your new March goodies and content and resources and swim studies and all that good stuff will be coming out the next couple of days, and throughout the month of March. Now, I am going to London tomorrow and Saturday. I'm actually going to an early years conference, which will be exciting, and I'm going to go and do a bit of networking. So hopefully you'll have a lovely weekend, and I will speak to you guys soon. If you ever have any questions, just reach out. I'm always here for you. Take care, guys. I hope you found that useful.